Welcome to Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch. We are your hosts. I'm Janice Thorne, and this is my husband, Timothy Thorne. And we are here to inspire and inform you on different perspectives of life. That's our take with Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch.
And tonight we're going to be talking about making the shift, moving toward retirement. What are your goals? Have you made plans, preparations for making that shift?
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about starting off. What should you do when you start off?
Well, I will say this. You know, we are baby boomers.
I'm a millennial. You're a baby boomer. No, go ahead.
We're both baby boomers, which means that, you know, we came up through the industrial age. And that sounds so foreign to a lot of people, but technically that's what it was, you know, where annuities were put in place for people to have when they retired. And if you're a baby boomer, that's literally what you can look forward to, an annuity. But it's a lot different now. You know, a lot of people are working and they don't really have the kind of jobs that will provide to them an annuity. So that's why we want to talk today about making the shift, preparing yourself towards retirement. And as we are baby boomers, we are making that shift into that space. And I will say this, it's important to know that you're ready. Isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I'm going to tell you, I've been on my job for 34 years and I was ready to retire 30 years ago. So I really didn't like it, didn't stay with it long. Well, I'd stayed with it 34 years. But the thing that I'm saying is, at that time, I really wasn't thinking about retirement, but by things being already put in place, it helps you, you know, and then you have to add to it because it might not be enough, you know, when you do retire.
Yeah.
So you have to plan. And I do say when you're young, start planning.
Start planning.
Start planning.
Absolutely.
Towards the future.
Absolutely.
You know, my kids have been doing that, which is a blessing because they thinking about retirement. Whereas I was just thinking about taking care of the family at that time as being baby boomers. Our focus was to take care of the family.
Yes.
Have a roof over our head, food on the table, and make sure everybody had clothes on their back. So that's what our focus was when I was coming up.
That's right.
You know, so we had a lot of people have jobs that they don't really like.
Yeah.
You know, I think maybe 10% of the people that's working today work at a job that they like or what they wanted to do or even went to school for.
Yeah.
You know, which is their dreams or what they like doing. So,
and I think especially those that are in the other areas of life, well, we are baby boomers, but those that are the millennials, the X, the Y generation, they might not be thinking about what they should do to prepare for retirement. And that's why we wanted to do this show, to kind of walk you down that path of these are some of the things that we're looking at to prepare ourselves to retire. And I know for me, it's just how I feel on the inside. I feel like I am ready. I feel like I've gone down this road and now I am ready. I'm ready to put my hat up, you know, my pen up. I'm ready to turn my computer in. I'm just ready to go to the next level. And I think you just get that feeling on the inside, like I've had enough. I've just had enough.
well, you know, it's this saying I always say. I tell people about the dog with the nail in his tail. And just basically to say when enough is enough. It was this old man that had a dog with a nail in his tail that sat on the porch. And people walked by, well, why don't you pull it out? Old man said, well, when the pain is enough, too much for him to bear, he don't care if his whole tail comes out. He gonna get up and rip it off. But the dog, if it's enough, you had enough, it's time to go, it's time to go.
And you
You
feel it.
know that in yourself.
Yes, you do.
And that's just like the dog. When the dog got tired of that pain, he'd have got up, ripped his whole, and that goes for a lot of different situations.
Absolutely.
The job, relationships, or whatever you're going through. When enough is enough, you're going to let it go.
You have to know when it's ready.
You don't care. You don't care what's going to happen behind that. But as far as retirement go, you want to make sure that you are able to live. You don't know how long you're going to live. Nobody knows how long they're going to be around, but you want to make sure you're prepared for it.
Absolutely. You have to make that shift, and you have to prepare while you're making the shift. And even as we are approaching retirement, there are some things that we're putting in place, and we're going to talk about that in the next segment. But it's key that you have a vision towards retirement. There are so many benefits to being prepared for retirement. And I think as we go forward, we will have a lot of those things in place that will help us to be even more productive, even more just on point with the things that we are currently doing in our lives. We don't want to miss a beat, do we? We don't want to miss a beat.
No, we don't. So I told the wife, you guys, the other day that if we had to move in Carolina and get a $50 shack a month to retire, we're going to retire.
And he will be there by himself. So I just want to let that be known on television that, we will not be moving to a little shack and paying $50 a month. But
some people that don't plan for retirement might not have a choice.
That's true.
So, I see people all the time that's on my job that are working and look like they should have retired a long time ago. I know people that done had heart attacks and went out for a year, 2 years, and then actually came back to work and had to go back out. So is that a lack of preparation?
I don't think it's a lack of preparing. I do believe that it is, people find such fulfillment in their jobs. And I know when I first started working, I love my job. I love going to work every single day. But as time goes by, you find that, is it me? Am I really able to bring out the best in me? Am I really doing this for someone else? And I know that I want to be able to live out my latter years doing what makes me happy. And oftentimes when you are working on that job and you're doing someone else's command, it might not be as pleasurable because you're not able to execute your gifts, your talents, your skills. You're doing, what someone else wants you to do. So if you are in a posture where you can make those decisions to shift, it may not even be retirement. It might just be to take a pause and say, what do I really, really want to do? I think that's important.
Yeah, so you can go in like I would call semi-retirement, retire from your main job, but do what you really want to do or been wanting to do for your whole life.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of people get jobs just to make sure they bring their paycheck home.
Absolutely.
So to get something going that you really want to do, whether it's art, writing, or whatever, travel, just start.
Yes.
Start on it while you're on the job to help prepare yourself. So when you are ready to go and can retire, and you like that dog, and there's enough is enough pain, I'm leaving, I'm gone. And you'll be ready to go.
Absolutely. And that's why our show today, Making the Shift, moving towards retirement, is key. And when we come back from the break, we're going to talk about the things that are important to prepare for as you make that shift towards retirement. We will be right back
with Late Night Tim and Janice.
Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch is where you get to see us live and in living color with our views, opinions, and thoughts about what is on our hearts and minds. This is where we bring life-changing dialogue.
Welcome to Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch.
We are your hosts. I'm Janice Thorne, and this is my husband, Timothy Thorne.
We are here to
excite you, inform you about our different perspectives about life.
Join the fun each week. Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch.
Welcome back to Late Night with Tim and Janice on the couch. Our topic tonight is making the shift, moving towards retirement. And that is a big move. So for this segment, we want to talk about the preparation. How do you prepare for it? And preparation is the key to retirement. And I should know, but we just want to talk about that. For the first thing that I wanted to say is, as far as preparing, you should think about a savings. Even when you're young, you should start saving money. I just found this piece of paper, or somebody gave it to me about a week or two ago, on saving. So people just start saving $1. Start off with $1. You got 52 weeks in a year. Start off with $1 that first week. Mm-hmm. The second week, put $2 away. The third week, put $3 away. Mm-hmm. The fourth week, $4 away. And keep going on. And by the time you finish after 52 weeks, you should have over $1,300 saved. Okay, that's just something to get you started, to get you moving. And there are so many other ways and things that you could do to prepare for retirement.
And I think that's a good idea. I had a friend who he created a box during Christmas time, and he put wrapping paper on it and made a slit in it. And every day he put whatever extra change in dollar form in the box. So at the end of the year, he didn't even know how much money he had in there, because he would stuff in $1 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills, $20 bills. And I had another friend, she had a big jar and she socked away all of her change. And during the holidays, they would use that money for transportation wherever they went, and they would have like maybe $500 in there. So that's such a good idea to save money. You can never start saving money too late. It's always a good idea to start money, and especially when you're thinking about retirement. What can you do that will be substantial? What can you do that will be intentional? Because it's really about making intentional moves towards retirement, and saving money is the key.
It's one of the keys. And the thing is, so many people don't know how to save money, which way, the best way to go. You had these piggy banks that my parents and they used to give us when we was little, get them from the bank. But even though I put something in there, when the ice cream truck came around, I was ready to go get that money out. So
you broke the bank?
Yeah, I break the bank. So especially if I ain't had nothing in my pocket though. But as we get older, learning to save means a lot. You have to learn finances, and a lot of that is not taught in certain schools.
Yes.
In certain schools, finance is not taught.
Yes,
okay?
I agree.
So as us being baby boomers, a lot of things was put in place, like 401ks, TSPs, and other money market things to help you prepare for retirement.
Yes.
But if you don't understand what it's for, then you don't take advantage of it.
Right.
So I tell a lot of young people at work that's starting, I tell them to max it out and forget about it. You know, because they're making a lot of money, making overtime, all this. Max it out and forget about it.
Yeah.
And that's one way to save money as well.
And oftentimes people don't really know how their money works for them. So a financial advisor also is a good idea. You know, get someone who knows money. They know how money circulates. So you want to get someone that's going to sit you down and look at your entire portfolio to help you to come up with the best strategies that are going to help you when you retire, because everybody's situation is different. You know, and as Tim said, he's going to be moving to a little shack paying $50. You know, I mean, that might be someone's idea of how to prepare for retirement, but you might have to downsize. That's a preparation there, downsizing from where you are. You might be in a 5-bedroom house now where your salary accommodated it, but when you retire, you might have to downsize and go into maybe a condominium. You know, those are some of the choices that you have to make.
Yes, and trust me, I was just kidding about the shack, because I don't work too long to move into a shack. So we can forget about that.
Yes, we will.
As a financial advisor would probably sit you down and look at your situation and then ask, where do you want to be when you retire?
Yes.
How much money do you want to have? What type of portfolio do you want?
Yes.
So they will help you plan for that, put things in place for that.
Yes.
And they can do that with investments.
Yes.
Okay, property, that's something that's never going anywhere.
Absolutely.
You can invest in property, rent it out, keep it moving like that. You're going to always have money coming in until it's paid for.
Yeah, and you know what else? I do believe that oftentimes people don't think about the more physical assets like gold and silver. You know, gold and silver will never go away. So as you are building your 401, as you are building, you know, your house, you know, think about your financial house. Think about some of the things that can add to your wealth: silver, gold, gems, artwork,
you know,
absolutely,
things that hold value,
you
know, limited edition stuff, etc. But it's all part of investing. So if you bought a building, an apartment building, that's an investment for you, and that will continue to pay off. Because if you bought a 6-unit apartment building and you moved in one of the units and rented out the other 5, 9 times out of 10 you living rent free. And you got money coming in, extra money coming in.
Yeah.
That's a sign of an investment.
Yeah. And real estate is always going to work for you, regardless of whether or not the economy goes on a downturn. Real estate is always going to work for you, especially if you are a real estate owner. So you definitely want to make sure that the money that you currently have while you are working will, you have to look at it and say, okay, this is going to be cut in half. Can I still be able to maintain my standard of living when my salary is cut in half? I don't think a lot of people look at it from that perspective, but that's essentially what's going to happen. And you're going to be receiving money once a month as well. So those are some of the things that you want to look at, because that is a part of the preparation that you have to have.
And it is an adjustment. I was off work for almost 2 years, just getting bare minimum, no overtime, no nothing, but I got used to it. So it was enough to hold me over for the time that I was off, and which, as I did have to make adjustments, I go buy the family pack of chicken and cut it up and so forth and freeze it and come back and grab 2 or 3 pieces.
Right.
But you got to make adjustments.
You have to make
That's
adjustments.
The whole thing.
So what's the takeaway?
Well, a takeaway, I feel like savings is a big thing.
Okay.
Investments is another thing.
Okay.
You know, you have to prepare.
You have to prepare. And I will say you have to build today for tomorrow. It's so important to look at your situation now and know that whatever you're doing now is going to create the kind of future that you want to have in that period of time when you reach that quadrant. You know, so whatever you do right now is going to prepare you for that future quadrant of retirement.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't think about their health. You don't know what's going to happen with your health down the road. So you have to start when you are young. You don't know. You might somehow get laid up or whatever, God forbid. But if you plan for it or plan ahead of time, you'll be more prepared for that.
Absolutely.
You know, so
absolutely.
You can make a lot of money now, but you don't know if it's going to last.
You don't know if it's going to last. So that's why our segment today regarding making the shift, moving towards retirement is special for us because we are baby boomers. And when we come back, we are going to just share with you more information on our next broadcast.
Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch is where you get to see us live and in living color with our views, opinions, and thoughts about what is on our hearts and minds. This is where we bring life-changing dialogue.
Welcome to Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch.
We are your hosts. I'm Janice Thorne, and this is my husband, Timothy Thorne.
We are here to
excite you, inform you about our different perspectives about life.
Join the fun each week. Late Night with Tim and Janice on the Couch.
We are back with Late Night with Tim and Janice on the couch. And before the break, we talked about the preparation that is necessary for making that shift into retirement. It's always important to have those things in place so that you can be better prepared when you reach that aspect of your life. So let's talk about some takeaways.
One of the takeaways that we were talking about were savings, your 401ks, your TSPs, investments, stocks, paintings, whatever that you feel strong about. And I tell a lot of people to think about, what do you like the most when you want to invest in stocks? What do you like using? If it's bicycles that you're interested in, then invest in bicycles. So with that being one of them, and you want to leave your job, think about what you want to do afterwards.
Good
point. Do you just want to travel, or do you want to continue to do things to keep yourself going? It's something to think about, because a lot of people are scared to leave their job, because a lot of people retire and 6 months down the road, they done left the world.
And that's a very good point, because I used to work for an agency, and a scientific agency. So you had all of these scientists that were on the top floors where the labs were, and they were older because they were so engrossed in their craft, and they were always looking for the breakthrough. And you had 70 and 80-year-old men that were just pressing forward, looking for that breakthrough that was going to change, maybe medicine or whatever. And sadly, the cleaning people, would come, and they would find oftentimes them in their labs deceased. But they were there to, they were looking for that breakthrough, but at the same time, they were working all the way up to, a space where, they checked out, and I think you can look at it two ways. They had passion about what they were doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, could they have lived out maybe their lives, on the beach or, somewhere else.
Or with their family.
Or with their
because
families.
When you have people that work so hard and so long in a job, that it takes away from other things.
Yeah.
So if they have a wife, kids, or whatever, if they work putting 14 hours in their job, it's going to take away from that.
So balance is necessary. As you are preparing, that would be a takeaway to establish what your boundary is going to be. As you are preparing, recognize that you might have a family that hardly ever saw you when you were working. How are you going to reincorporate yourself into the family dynamic? What are you going to do to bridge that gap? Maybe the relationship has been stalled because you were always working and always finding time for your job, but not your family. That's a critical time as you retire, because you're going to have a lot of time with your family now.
And that's so important, because a lot of people don't think about that. And sacrifices is what you do make in life to achieve certain goals and things, but you got to look at what you're giving up.
Yes.
And the things that you might be giving up, you'll never get back.
That's true.
Because I worked a lot early on in my years, and I missed a lot of my kids playing sports and events and family events, reunions, and et cetera, because I worked weekends and so forth. They tried to plan stuff around my schedule, but I never knew when I was getting off.
Yeah.
Working so hard. So
Yes.
You have to think about the sacrifices that you're going to be making to reach your goals and make a balance of life, so you don't give up so much.
That's right. That's right. And I think another thing that can be incorporated into your life as you prepare to retire, as you move towards that new quadrant, is if you want to continue to work, think about starting your own business. Think about taking that hobby and turning it into something that can have a monetary return for you, or a return on investment. I think when you're able to do that, you're doing something that you also love to do, and you're making money with it, so you might not be in the grind every single day, but you can build that business, build that event or whatever activity that's going to bring in some cash flow for you, and you'll love it at the same time. So starting a business is something that you can do to prepare even before you retire.
And you know, with the government, the way they had them shutdowns, a lot of people was forced to do something that they like doing in order to make ends meet.
Absolutely.
Which has turned into a job for them,
A business.
a retirement, of working for themselves, so they could put their own kids through school instead of working for somebody else, putting somebody else's kids through school and taking care of their families.
Absolutely. So it's always an adjustment that you have to make as you prepare towards retirement. Tim and I, what we're doing right now is, we're watching our spending. We are making sure that as we make this decision, we stock away money, and he doesn't know this, but I'm going to start farming. I'm going to start, growing.
What you going to be growing?
I'm going to be growing, my vegetables, my herbs, because I think it's important that you also have a hand in what you do. You can't really expect everything external to guide your life. You have to have your hands in, your produce, because you just, you want to know what you're eating and how good it is for you. Right?
I understand what you're saying, because I do know how you like to mix your drinks, green drinks in the morning, etc. If you had your own garden, it'll be fresh out of the ground.
It will be fresh out of the ground. So that's something else. Preparation is key. You might not be able to, go out to fancy restaurants anymore. You might not be able to
not as often.
And not as often. I don't want to say you're not going to be able to do it, but you want to be able to have a closer eye on your output, your monetary output. That is so key. So those are those kinds of adjustments that you might have to make as you prepare for retirement. Very key.
I think another adjustment that people need to make and really consider is their health.
Yes.
What they're putting in their body. How long do you really want to, if you keep putting bad things in your body, things going to happen to you.
Absolutely.
So you want to start putting good things into your body so you have a better outcome later on in life.
Absolutely. I do believe that a lot of people, they believe that as they get older, they're going to get sick. They're going to get sick and die. And that's why I talk about building today for tomorrow, even as it relates to your health, because everything that you put in your body is going to consequently have an impact on you as you're getting older. So that's another aspect of preparation for retirement. And it's another aspect of just, putting in place those things that are going to be a benefit to you once you cross over into that new quadrant of life. Retirement can be such an amazing period for you or your spouse. It's a time where you can woo-saw. It's a time where you can really see life, see where you've been, and now see where you want to go.
And another takeaway is that it's never too late to start.
It's never too late to start.
You have to start at some point in time. Just start. That's just like a business or whatever you want to do. You have to start at some point in time. It's never too late.
It's never too late. So we hope that you enjoyed our message today. Moving into retirement, making the shift as you move into retirement. Do your due diligence now. Thank you for watching Late Night with Tim and Janice.